Right now, cart and products are using the same exact copy of Faker when we load them both up through our container. So once again, we can see that very easily by going to localhost 8080, refreshing the page, and we're seeing only one copy of the Faker module being loaded here. But there's a really quick question that starts to come up once you consider this dependency being shared between both products and cart. Remember, these two projects might be developed by totally different engineering teams, and they could very well decide that they want to use different versions of the Faker module, or any other module for that matter. So what would happen if one project tried to use a very specific version of Faker, and then the other tried to use a completely different version of Faker? Let's kind of simulate that process and see what happens. So over inside of my terminal, I'm going to find the terminal window that is running my cart project right now. I'm going to stop Webpack. I'm then going to do an npm install Faker at 4.1.0. Just so you know, our products application is using version 5.10 of Faker. So we now have two very different versions of Faker being used across our different sub-projects. Let's now start our cart back up, and then refresh the page at localhost 8080. And when we do so, we'll now see that we are loading up once again two separate copies of Faker. This is desirable. This is what we want to have happen. We do not want to use our different projects to try to use the same copy of Faker if they both expect to have different and very specific versions. If we were trying to make use of version 4.1.0 inside of our cart, there might be a very good reason for that. We might be relying upon some feature that might break inside a version or even be removed inside of version 5.1.0. So if we have different sub-projects that require different versions, completely different versions, we want to make sure we load up different copies. And that is what is occurring here. So this is definitely good and expected behavior. Okay, so you might be curious, how does the versioning system actually work? Well, the Module Federation plugin is going to take a look at the versions of these different modules that you specify inside of your package.json file. So inside of products, we've got version 5.10 right here. And inside of cart, we've got version 4.10. The Module Federation plugin is only going to decide to load up different versions of these modules if your versions specified right here are significantly different and do not match. Just so you know, this little caret right here means that we can use version 4.10 or any other minor version or patch version. So 4.10 with a caret in front of it is equivalent to, say, 4.6.0 or 4.6.4 or whatever else. The only thing that can't change when we've got the caret right there is the major number. So that's the 4 at the very start. So let's try tweaking these versions and see when we can get Module Federation plugin to once again share these two versions, even if the exact number right there is slightly different. So for that, I'm going to go back over to my terminal window. I'm going to stop cart once again and do an npm install Faker at 5.0.0. So now cart and products have the same major version. They're both trying to use version 5. Products is trying to use version 5.1.0, but because we've got the caret in front of our version, that means version 5.10 is okay to use with version 5.0.0. So I'll now do another npm start. I'm going to go back over to localhost 8080, refresh, and now you'll notice once again, we are using the same version, or excuse me, the same copy. Technically, we have the same copy here, even though they want to use slightly different versions. But because of the little matchers we put on there, that little caret in particular, we're saying that version 5.0.00 right here is compatible or can be used with the products 5.1.0. So the little carets there, or you might also see the squigglies, which refer to the mutable patch version, that's where these things start to get a little bit more important. Okay, so now we can see that we can work with different versions between these different modules. Definitely a fantastic feature. There's one other thing around shared dependencies I want to show you in just a moment.